This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a man back for a 15th NFL season. Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants take on Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, and none other than Cam Newton.
And coming off of an early season open week. And in this situation, what he told us when we sat down with him was he spent a lot of time working on fundamentals, kind of getting back to basics during that time, as opposed to having to worry about healing up or resting up. It was too early in the season. Get back to the basics, get his game going again.
Now a carry, it's C.J. Anderson. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. And here now the offense for Carolina.
And Christian McCaffrey, one of my favorite players in the 2017 draft, he didn't disappoint. Had 80 catches as a rookie. Look for him to be more actively involved in the running game in 2018. Yes, he can run between the tackles.
On second down, Anderson. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Newton on 3rd down. And he gets it to Funchess complete. 18 yards there, the first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 47. They give it to Anderson. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 more yards there and another first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
They run again on 1st down. Anderson. And a short gain down to about the 33. The tackle by Janoris Jenkins. Time to look at the defensive starters for the New York Giants. They've certainly had their struggles against the run at the 30th ranked unit out of 32 teams in the NFL.
The numbers are definitely not in their favor, but every time I click on the film and watch them, I see stretches where they play against the run really well. Their biggest problem? When they give up those explosive runs, those 30, 40, 50-yard runs, that'll really mess up your averages.
On second down, here's Newton. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. Now keep in mind, they did have 3 interceptions last week. Couldn't quite come up with a first quarter pick that time.
But they had to like what they saw in terms of reacting when the ball is thrown. We had an expression when I played. It was called break on it. Every time the quarterback puts the ball in the air, break on the football. Go make a play and accumulate those interceptions.
Former defensive back. You remember those 3 interception games. It can be contagious, give you a little momentum.
They really can. And it doesn't matter whether there's one person or if you spread them across your entire defense. Everybody wants a piece of that pie.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
The impressive opening drive continues, and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. But he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll try the air now with Newton. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them. Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
And you remember pre-draft, there was a lot of speculation the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then. Now they'll throw it with Manning. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a Turkey Bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Shepard. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And before they can get settled in here, time expires. On the 1st quarter of action. 0-0 our score. We're back to Uptown Charlotte after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Manning going to throw. It's hauled in by Shepard. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. And he fires one, but incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And Rosas puts this one through. And the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like that one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. Rolling to his right. And he slides to avoid the hit. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. The Panthers on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Newton. And the tight end Olsen, right side. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Out of the gun, Newton. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Newton. That's complete right around the 8. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. To the air again, Newton. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. 4th down, and here's Graham Gano now in the field goal unit for the Panthers. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
On the return is Henderson. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. New York set to take the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. Manning the throw on 2nd down. He'll get this out to Barkley complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
A handoff to Barkley. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And now running right through it. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first, thanks to a flashy little spin move. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
Hit him underneath now.
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion. The maturity of a veteran taken with the defense will give him.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Brandon Coleman was the intended target. And it's 3rd and short.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Manning going to try and throw on third down. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. And it bangs off the left upright and deflects away. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. So plenty of leg, but it's the accuracy there that lets him down.
Yeah, he hit it really well. I think this might have been good from 55. But you'll see it just conk off that upright, and they're denied a chance at 3 points.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Oh, and now he bowls him over. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers strike quickly here for 6 points.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Extra point try, good by Gano. And the lead is now 10-3. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. On the return is Henderson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. New York set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw is Manning. He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Manning now on 1st down. Steps away to his left. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Looking for his receiver, sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Back to throw, Newton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. 2nd and 10. Newton again. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. The Panthers on third down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
180.
From the gun, here's Newton. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with it.
And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it, and he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now Manning. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
On 3rd and long, it's Manning. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Come on now. We got three. Set. 180.
On second down, here's Newton. And this will complete right side to Funchess. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
Now Newton. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And
I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's a give to Barkley. And he stopped immediately there. Tackle made by K'Wan Short.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll go to Barkley again. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. So back-to-back plays here where he couldn't get anything on the ground. Now you face a 3rd and 10 and assume you're going to try to pass it, right?
I would think so, because you've tried to run the ball, and really it doesn't matter who got the ball in the play because there was no space to go. So I think you step back, throw the ball to try and pick up the 1st down.
Now Manning. And that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Here's Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. The safety Landon Collins there to make the tackle.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run and the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
Oh, my Cam. There's times when I'm not analyzing up here. I'm just appreciating. Led NFL quarterbacks in rushing last year. He is truly the ultimate weapon at that position.
Newton looking to throw on 3rd and 1. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Gano's kick is right through. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And New York set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll run it again with Barkley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a third down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
From the gun on third down, Manning to Barkley on the check down. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move as that gives him a first down. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On first down, Manning. Oh, that one sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Manning again here on 2nd and 10. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Mario Addison in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were... And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And the movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
So the penalty certainly helps him out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Newton to throw. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. Caught left side by Funchess. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
This is McCaffrey on the give. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Here's Newton. And it's caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 23 yards on the play. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
Newton trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On the ground, McCaffrey. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Throwing is Newton. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. It's the fullback, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. And a play fake down near the goal line here worked out well.
Anytime you can make them think that you're going to run the ball, they can go to that play-action pass. You see the end result, usually a touchdown.
Is that harder? Is the play fake harder to defend for the defense near the goal line or no? Because there's not as much room to work with?
It is harder because down near the goal line, you're thinking much more of a running play, especially if people run out big formations. So it is harder to defend.
On the return is Henderson. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. New York set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
And his throw is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Manning now on first down. Coleman has it here right side. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Into the red zone now. Manning. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. Brandon Coleman, his first touchdown on the year. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a two-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a two-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Back to the ground. This time it's Anderson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Timeout defense.
Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. The Panthers on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd down and 12. Again, Anderson. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. He's had quite the turnaround, Charles. At the start of the game, passing game was a little bit of a mess, but he's back on the horse, so to speak.
Love seeing how someone can rebound from a slow start or a tough start. It means that they're strong mentally. They've kind of calmed themselves down. Everyone's rallied around them. Maybe they even change game planning a little bit in order to make things better for them.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. Manning to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Julius Peppers in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. Now Manning. It's hauled in by Shepard. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. One final try now for Manning. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Panthers, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins.